Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still working on public schools. Still trying to make sure our finances are not completely Robert J. Borked over here. So that's our primary task. I'm trying to keep things chill so that we don't, again, wind up having a problem. Being said, as I say that, I'm considering establishing some protectorates here nearby to us. I'm sure it would be nice to have some protectorates close to the British Raj. What about Afghanistan? Afghanistan is a place that a lot of large imperial powers go when they feel like taking on something they can't handle. Soviet Union did it. Great Britain did it. Arguably, America did it. There's definitely utility to going there. Persia, I don't know why you're rebellious right now. My infamy is at 0. I have never reduced your autonomy. The industrialists have started complaining about the existence of subsistence farms in Hale, stating that their undeniable inefficiency should be immediately addressed. The fertile soil of our people suffers, relegated to tired and callous hands, too exhausted from manual labor to perform at a decent level, too poor to be able to use more advanced tools that would make them more profitable. The industry is just a useless investment. Industrialists are very happy with us, so I can get migration attraction and radical upper stardom pops, or I can piss off the industrialists. Well, actually, population of Hale is pretty low. This migration attraction would be bad, but then again, I'm not necessarily trying to build up Hale, so I think it's got quite a bit of industry here, actually. You know what? We should follow their advice. We're almost reduced our law enforcement investment, and that should clear out quite a bit of our unrealized taxes line item here. I'm hoping this does, and that we get a big tick down of this, because that would really help me with this whole situation. We're paying 5.67k in interest right now, and that is beautiful. Alright, so that reduces that, and that puts our unrealized taxes at 3 point. Alright, excellent, wonderful. And that means we are actually moving towards back to being... Now we're back to being in the black. We got one more government admin under construction, and each of my government admins, I'm going to urban for that again, is producing 65 bureaucracy. So that should sort us out. That having been said, though, I'm actually going to reduce law enforcement by 1 more, because once public schools pop, that problem's gonna show back up again. Discord within the industrialists. An influential faction within the industrialists has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of public schools. Themselves in the favor of the law, they have now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How can you stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor, of duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambition, and I dare say I am not alone in this. With their support, the bill shall pass, 15% enactment chance, and industrialists weaken slightly, or the intelligentsia extend an open hand to these mavericks, 10% enactment chance, and industrialists significantly weakened, intelligentsia strengthened. I'm going to go with the second one. I want to get stronger intelligentsia. It just stands to reason the intelligentsia are the Sultan's interest group. I think... This is tough. This is tough. I could pull the armed forces in. Pulling the armed forces in would make it easier to get a change in the voting. Raising concerns. The local governors have expressed their concerns about a government decisions clearly favoring the interests of the intelligentsia. Choosing is always hard, not because the decision is difficult to make, but because the consequences can be a bit inconvenient. Rumors are spreading like smoke from a factory, staining the clean air of the Ottoman Empire with a dense and vicious poison. This needs to be addressed. Local governors happier, intelligent industrialists unhappy, or they need to accept that we cannot always please everyone. This weakens the local governors, and I do always like to have the local governors be weak. That's going to make them probably reduce tax revenue, but... Okay, Persia is back to being loyal. That's very good. Can I reduce their autonomy? They will accept. Ah, excellent. That brings Persia into our empire as a dominion. And once again, that is going to improve our financial situation significantly. Slowly and steadily, we are building up the capacity to hopefully financially survive the movement to a situation where France is not bankrolling us. Continuing to reduce law enforcement investment is an important prelude to getting public schools passed, and this is likely to succeed any pass now, so trying to get that going as efficiently as possible. Looks like we did just finish our next government administration, so this number should be going down pretty significantly. All right, it's getting there. It's getting there. In fact, I'm actually going to reduce law enforcement all the way because I'm going to want to increase public schools. I hadn't been thinking about the cost and bureaucracy of our social security system. Because that is something that I desperately need. Oh. The Voice of the Nation. A group of respectable musical composers teaching at the Arts Academy in Basra have approached us. They've drawn attention to the alarming lack of a proper national anthem fit to invigorate our people's spirits. Land of warriors, land of splendor, always threatening the offender, will punish those Spanish who betrayed with power and reason's aid. Wild. Now that's a cool anthem. Gets us some extra prestige. Do a promotion. The local governors demand the promotion of Brigadier General Refat Shakir, touting his history of loyal and effective service. So many medals adorned his jacket that one could scarcely see the fabric beneath, but it was not yet enough. Chest puffed out with pride, the general smiled as he imagined the look on Pasha's face when the general learned of his imminent ascension. Their rivalry was legendary among the officers. At last, he would have his due. Refat Shakir has earned it. He gets a promotion to a major general. He's 57. He's brave and an offensive planner. I'm actually going to accept this, even though that's going to make them stronger, because I'm okay with that, and it'll make them happy, and that's what we need. Parents who've experienced teaching children at home are offering to assist teachers in rural areas to facilitate the new public school system. Ask any of my neighbors, and they will vouch for what I've done for this community, despite my lack of formal qualifications. Any kids around here who already know how to read and write, I taught. For me, it's a greater source of pride than anything I made with my own hands. It is fortunate that we already have enough educated it is fortunate that we already have educated people. Sorry, I misunderstood what that was doing. 12% enactment success chance, reduced agricultural throughput. Interesting. Or we must not let this distract from our other work. 6% enactment chance. I don't want to upset the proverbial apple cart. I guess in this way I'm upsetting the literal apple cart since I'm reducing throughput of plantations and agriculture. In any case, I'm going to go with the second one. 6% is more than enough enactment chance for me for this process, and I don't want to go too crazy with that. All right. I'm going to queue in. Oh, hold on. I've got a government debuff, right? 8 more months for working against the system. So that'll finish about in the middle of 80, and that should be just fine. So I don't actually need to build another government admin to burn through the rest of this 21 stuff. This 21 shortage of bureaucracy. So goods for government buildings are still... Wow, goods for government buildings. Wages for government buildings are really, really high. I'm surprised by that. But goods for government buildings are going down. We're reducing that line item for paper, and we're doing it by just increasing the amount of paper in our market. And hopefully that will continue to be effective. Some shipyards that are not doing what they want to be doing, sadly. We can definitely afford to sell some hardwood. No one wants to buy hardwood. That's a shame. Wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Do I have an import route for hardwood? That's other countries' routes. Well, fine. Can't get rid of that. What about tea? Someone, the Hanoverian market. Are the British not buying our tea? Why aren't the British buying our tea? I guess they're growing it themselves in other places. Although, France has mostly succeeded. Hey, and there's public schools. Wonderful. So, that was a success. Oh, because that 15% debuff was only during it? I think it was. Excellent. Well, maybe then we'll build a few more government admins just to get us above the threshold. I'm looking in urban for government admin again. I need to get one of those. Get some method for... That doesn't happen. Ooh, civil war in Great Britain. Great Britain having its civil wars already in 1880. Surprising. Alright, so let's queue those up to the top. And then at the end of this whole set, hopefully we'll be good to go. The people want a National Guard, and I can get 531k loyalists from doing this. So I'm actually quite tempted. If I build a National Guard, the intelligentsia will be unhappy. Can't get guaranteed liberties until I kibosh censorship. Alright, let's go with, let's have a National Guard. We'll go and have ourselves a nice tasty National Guard. And there's canneries. Wonderful. So that'll get some more... So this will cost us iron and fish, but it'll get more groceries being produced, and that's what we need. Iron is still pretty expensive in our market. Fish are getting more, but only by a little bit. So I'm pretty pleased with that overall. Law enforcement's down to 2. Let's get education going up. I'm going to cancel the reduction in law enforcement, because we've got plenty of capacity right now. And as we get a little bit more, I think we need actually one more. These government admins. Let's put one in Ankara and one in Trabzon. I said 1, and then I immediately did 2. So, I'm not going to involve myself in this civil war. I don't think being involved in a civil war in Great Britain is going to be of much use. Unless... you would be willing to give me... No. What about you? No. Okay. I was going to see if I could get a little bit more of Borneo, but I can't, so... Can't blame me for trying. Rifat Telhostan has died. And that puts the Rameli Ordosu below its limit. Let's go ahead with... You're an experienced defensive strategist, brave, and a stalwart defender. I'm going to pull you into this situation and just promote the ever-loving heck out of you. How are other armies doing? They're doing basically okay. Great Britain's rivaling Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary, I don't know why you're so upset with me about stuff. 31% chance. I could roll the dice on that. I'm not gonna, but I could. Hey, and we're in consideration for National Guard already. That's wonderful. God, I really ran myself really out of cash. I'm still paying 4K in interest. I'm not as far in the black as I would like to be. Although part of that's because I just increased admin costs. Anyway, we're at an excess of 800, so that should, this is almost 400, so that'll give us a little bit of breathing room, and we'll get us up to 3. And what that's going to do is that's going to start increasing literacy by a lot. Because right now, and here's why that's going to matter. Our literacy is what's causing us to have an innovation cap. So right now, excess innovation is being put into technology spread, and instead of that, we want it going into, technology research. Speaking of which, we're almost at the end of what we gotten queued up. I really would love to get dynamite, but is that more important than steel frame building? And what else will steel frame building take? It's going to take quite a bit. Joint stock companies will increase the number of companies I can get. I need to get pharmaceuticals, labor movement. Oh boy, there's a lot of text between me and steel frame buildings. If I queue it up, it'll take 6 years. Still, it's not bad to have a lot of these. I think. Oh, and quinine. Ugh. Yikes. Society is pretty. You know what? I'm just going to queue in dynamite and have that be what I'm doing in the society. Excuse me? Did you two switch? You two switched. Why did you two switch? Okay. All right. So, all right, friends. I'm going to tell you straight away. I'm going to be panning over here to look at the military techs a lot right now. We're actually nearly there on repeaters. That's fun. So, not... We're also mirrored now? Reset. Not sure what that means. That's really curious. So, military statistics unlocks a new advanced tactics training method, which seems pretty strong. Wargaming unlocks training method streamlining. Oh, this is actually different. They actually went and changed this up, I think. Trench Works is what unlocks the trench infantry still. And we will have access to that as soon as we've got electric telegraph. Although that's a tier 4. What gives me the better artillery? Recoil mechanisms. Here, an automatic machine gun. Do I have any events going? Sorry, I'm so deep in the innovation thing. I'm not paying attention to the game here. Where is... Okay, so war propaganda is now a dead-end technology. NCO training is what unlocks NCO incorporation and squad infantry. Alright, so that's still the same. There should be another... Defense in depth is what unlocks siege artillery now. Okay. So I think we can live with most of this. Without most of this. And I think it'll be useful to focus on production techs. Because I want to make our economy more productive. A vacuum canning would take oil, but we have access to oil. Where's pump jacks now? Pump jacks is still where it's been before. So I think that's where we're going next, because I want to be able to make use of the oil in my market. Oh, grassroots support for law. The political wills and desires of the lower classes will always remain an opaque matter. For whatever reason, support for National Guard has spread like wildfire across the Ottoman Empire, spurred on by charismatic speakers and lively debates in small-time social clubs. They're backing what now? Well, who are we to complain? Although support was never a prerequisite for success, it sure doesn't hurt to have it either. Public enthusiasm expedites reform. This increases the strength of the movement. Okay, that's interesting. Or uses common ground to calm the masses. North Star pops in Palestine become more loyalist. I'm not necessarily... The population of Palestine is really, really small at this time. No, 500k. That's not too small, actually. That said, I'm not really having a problem here. And overall, that's going to be pretty small on the grand scale. So I think we're going to just go ahead and expedite reform. And that should increase enactment chance, yeah, by about 6%. Wonderful. Alright, so tech-wise, I think after that I'm going to bang out the rest of the ones for society. Queue and organize sports for the prestige. Pharmaceuticals and quinine. Then we'll do postal savings. Then we'll queue in steel frame. And steel frame construction is a movement to enact landed voting. Well, if only if only this movement consisted of people other than the trade unions, who are very small on account of we only just had. I don't think we've even had labor movement unlock yet. What time is it? I should probably put a pin in it. I could go a little longer. Nah, it's turning over to 81. We'll put a pin in this episode. It's going to be kind of a shorter episode, but we'll do more next time. Still working on getting our debt down. Still trying to make sure we can function. I think France might be just bankrolling us indefinitely, which I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's been long enough that if it were a 5-year thing, they would have stopped. So I think that's just what's happening. So I'm pleased about that, and hopefully we'll be able to all have a good time with all this cash coming in from France. Yeah, it's been more than 5 years because we don't have a truce with Oman anymore. So yeah, anyway, that's going to be it for today's episode. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you all on the other side.